Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today for you I have the products that I have repurchased, the ones that I always have to have in my collection, the ones that I can never be without. These are going to basically be some of my favorite products. They're ones that I just can't get enough of. So if you like this style of video and you want to see more, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comment down below as well because I love to hear what you guys have to say, especially if you have any videos that you would like to see, or what are some of your most repurchased products as well. And let's go ahead and get started. So I have two eyebrow products for you, and one of them is going to be the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. I love this pencil. This is like my fourth or fifth one of these. I have to have it all the time. I've used other brow pencils and I just don't like it as much. I feel like they do a lot of the same stuff that this one does for a lot cheaper. I think this one is $2.99. So it's very reasonable, very inexpensive. I have it in, I think it's natural brown. It does come with a spoolie on one end, which is always a plus. And it's a typical size, so it is retractable. You don't have to sharpen it or anything. It's got a like creamy formula. It's got a little bit of a warmth to it, so if you don't like that, but I feel like on it looks pretty dark. So I do feel like it kind of mixes with your hair a bit. I haven't had an issue with it moving, but if I've like made a mistake, I can also wipe it off. So for me, it's very easy to use. Now I know a lot of people like micro pencils. For me, I don't really need that kind of detailing. I do buy one occasionally, but for me, this is the quickest, get it done, cheapest thing I can find. And honestly, I've bought some high-end brow products and this one is still my favorite. The next brow product that I have is the Essence Make Me Brow. Now this I believe is a dupe for the Benefit one. I've never tried the Benefit one, so I don't know. But it does come with a little spoolie. It's got some fiber, so you just kind of brush it through your brows. It's kind of like a tinted brow gel, brow filler, kind of all in one. I always have one of these. This again, I believe is like $2.99. I'll have all the prices linked down below with the products, as well as everything else that's on my face. All of the products that I talk about in this video, as well as the products that are on my face, are always listed down in the description. But I'm pretty sure this is like $2.99, maybe $3.99. And I am in, I think like medium brown. I think they have a darker shade and they have a lighter shade as well. And this is what I use when I want my brows to really stay in place, or sometimes when I just want a quick like boom 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 and I'm done and I don't really feel like using an eyebrow pencil. Now I will say I have like a balder spot in this eyebrow, and this doesn't really completely fill that in. It's a little easier to do with a pencil, but again, this is just really nice when I want everything to stay in place. I want them to look a little bit fuller than what an eyebrow pencil can give me. And honestly, this with the brow pencil, the e.l.f. one, is so good. Like, it's so good. It's always perfect unless I mess up my brows, but it always gives me really nice brows with the two products together. So they're kind of my go-to brow products. Next thing I have is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. I have bought more of these than I even know at this point. It is something that when I get down to the bottom, I have to immediately buy a new one. Even before I run out, like, I have to purchase this. It always has to be with me. This one that I have is the brightener one. They have a neutralizer as well as just shades. You can use any of them. I usually end up buying the brightener personally because I have dark circles. It just kind of helps with that. The neutralizer one is very yellow tinted. This one's a little bit more peachy pinky tinted. And then the other ones are a little bit more, like the fair is just a little bit more on the neutral side. This one is my favorite, but I've used all three. If they're out of one, I just pick up another one. I use them so interchangeably that it doesn't even matter. Like, I just make sure that I have them on hand at all times more than anything. I have again bought so many of these. It's really quick and easy to use. I use it a ton in the summer because it's not overly thick. It doesn't, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. I do find that it moves a little bit. It will give you a little bit of creasing, but not enough as other products. Like, I feel like everything kind of creases a little bit. This one, for the most part, stays really well. It's lightweight, no issues at all. I don't really notice it pilling up. I just go ahead, I put it on. I've worn this with no foundation, like just using concealer, and I've worn it over concealer. I do always set it though. I set all of my concealers, so I don't know what it would be like without it. It's just something that I do. But again, I love it. I think this is probably one of the best concealers on the market. I have tried lots of other concealers, and I have not found anything that makes me want to not have this in my collection. So what I'm going to talk about is one a lot of people talk about. It is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I am in the shade Light. I know now they have a lot more shades out, but I think when I swatched them compared to this one, I still preferred this one. I always use this in the summer. I don't use this as my only, like, I make sure I use sunscreen with it too. And then I just kind of use a foundation brush to buff it in. Now, there's one thing I don't love about this, and it's the smell. To me, it kind of smells like lemon floor cleaner. I actually just talked about that in another video, but for me it does. But take it as you will. No one else mentions it, so maybe it's just my own brain. I think this is definitely a medium coverage foundation. Like, you're gonna get some coverage with this. I recommend setting it. Especially if you're gonna be outside and you're gonna be a little bit on the sweatier side, it does last better when set. I personally like it with a foundation brush better than a sponge because you do lose some of that coverage with a sponge. But if you want a lighter coverage of it, then definitely go ahead and use a sponge. I've used it, I just prefer the foundation brush. This is probably the third or fourth one I've bought of these. I don't use it as much in the winter. I don't know why, I just don't. Something about how my skin changes in the winter, I don't like it as much. But in the summer, I have to have one of these on hand. I typically will buy it usually around the end of March. I always buy one of these, and then it's typically gone in, I'm trying to think, October? Let me see. Yeah, it lasts me about 6 to 7 months. And then I just wait and repurchase and buy another one. But I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I know a lot of people talk about it. If you really like a super lightweight foundation, this is probably not lightweight. Light coverage foundation, this one's not going to be for you. But if you like a more medium coverage foundation, I definitely recommend this one. If you want something with some SPF in it, this is also a great choice. My next foundation is going to be the Ulta Beauty Moisturizing Stick Foundation. I am in the shade Cool Light or Light Cool. And I tried this with one of the Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. They had this foundation on sale. And I thought, you know what, I've been wanting to try some stick foundations. Let's give it a go. And it's a thinner stick. You do get a good amount of product in it. Mine is, I want to say like 2-ish months old. I have a lot of foundations. I typically will wear this 1 to 2 times a week. That's how much I like it. And that's with having all these other foundations, including the IT Cosmetics CC Cream and a bunch of other ones that I do really enjoy. Now, I will say, one thing that is interesting about this foundation, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on camera, you can kind of tell. I will swipe this on my face, and you'll kind of notice, I don't know if you can notice it that well on camera, but it will look slightly different. It's almost like I put it on, and some parts will look darker, and some parts will look lighter, and some will look more warm, and some will look more cool. But then I blend it all out, and it looks perfect. Absolutely perfect. And again, I use a foundation brush with it. I typically like stick foundations better with foundation brush than I do a beauty blender. It looks it blends out so nicely. It's got a really creamy texture. This is something else that I do set. I try to set just about everything because I find that it just stays a little bit better on my skin, especially in my oily spots. that tend to move a little bit more. I think these are both great foundations. I usually pick up the Ulta one every time they have a 21 Days of Beauty. They usually have it on sale for half off. I think normally it's like $12, $14. I think it's $14 because I usually get it for $7. Well, don't quote me on that. But I will, again, we'll have all the prices listed below just so you know for sure. But I just find that it sits really nicely. It's very comfortable on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy. It is more of a light to medium coverage. If you used a sponge, you're really going to get more of that light finish with that. I wouldn't say it's anything more than a medium coverage. The It Cosmetics CC Cream is definitely much more of a coverage foundation compared to the Ulta one. So think about that. The next product I always seem to have on hand is going to be the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. This one is currently a small travel size, in case you're wondering. My Walgreens carries the travel size. I like to have a couple. Usually I keep one maybe in my purse, or when I'm traveling it's always in my travel bag. I just bought this one. It was the one I had on hand. But typically I do have the full size. I have probably gone through 8, 10 of these. I go through them really fast, but I love them. I love them. It is by far my favorite setting spray. It's a setting spray I use every day. I do have a few others that I intermix a little bit, or that I will try out, or anything like that. I do use those, but if I'm just like getting ready, grabbing something, this is always the one I grab. I like the way it feels. Now, Milani needs to work on this. Here's what I will tell you. If you've tried this and you're like, the mister on this is a little strong, or you've tried it and you're like, the mister on this is perfect, they're very different. I've gone through so many of them that I've realized that I never can get the same misting type with each bottle. It's something, I don't know why, something with how they spray out. I've gotten ones that it literally feels like I'm getting drenched. I've gotten other ones that are perfect. To the point, this is how different they are, that when I find one that has a good sprayer on it, I will actually pull off the nozzle on it and put it on one that's not very good. I know, I'm extra like that. But overall, I think it's great. It feels super lightweight. I have noticed a difference in the staying power of my makeup by using this. Like, I have done my makeup, foundation, all that I would normally wear, sprayed this on, have noticed it's lasts a long time, and then the next day wearing the same primer foundation, sprayed this on, and it, or not sprayed this, and it completely has broken apart. So I really do think this makes a difference in your wear time. The next one I'm kind of including in this because I do buy them all the time, but I don't necessarily buy the same color. And that is going to be the Rimmel Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liners. So I have the colors Addiction and East End Snob. So they look like this. These are the two colors I have. I've had other colors. I think I do have another color somewhere. Couldn't find it. I have repurchased this. The Addiction one is actually what I'm wearing on my lips with a lip gloss over it. I have purchased several of these. I do like East End Snob. It's just a little bit pinkier than I normally wear. I think I have a red one. If I need a lip liner, these are the ones that I buy. They are retractable. They have like a nice creamy feel on them. I've talked about them when I've done lip pick videos. See, sorry, so they're very nice. They're pretty long wearing. I've worn these even just as lip colors and not as lip liners. Like that's what I did today. I rubbed it all over and then I just put a gloss over it, but it's all over my lip. Like it is my whole inside of my lip. And they're just so comfortable. They're really lightweight. They don't really move. There is some transfer, but I was gonna see how well it transfers, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be the lip liner or the gloss. And when you put glosses over things, they do typically tend to break up your lip product a little bit more. So if you're ever like, why does this stay with no gloss? But then that's why, it's the oil in the gloss. But these are just really good and they're really reasonable. I think they're like $5.99. if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I bought them. They do last for a good amount of time. Like, it does take me a little bit to go through them, which is why I haven't bought a ton. Like, I haven't repurchased Addiction a lot, but I have bought several colors. And when I'm looking for a new color or a new shade of something, this is the brand I go to first to see if they have a color that's going to work. And then if they don't, I start looking at other brands. So this is always the one that I go to first. They really knocked it out of the park with these. That's all the products that I have for you. These were my most repurchased items. I hope you enjoy this video. All the products and prices will be listed down below, as well as all the makeup that I'm currently wearing on my face today. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you come back for more videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye.